Hello, ladies and gentlemen, Baraka the Collector here, coming back to you with the first video of 2021. Happy New Year. Hope you guys are all doing well. This time of year, of course, it's year in review, and I guess a lot of people, it's just a natural thing for people to kind of do top 10s at the end of the year. You do the top 10 of 2021, top 10 whatever, top 10 best, top 10 worst, top 10 most favorite, top 10 least favorite. This is going to be my top 10 most favorite Marvel Legends of 2021. So this year I think we got... This was honestly probably the best year for Marvel Legends in general. One of the best years for Marvel Legends in general in a while. Because this year, not only did I think we get the most amount of figures we've ever gotten any year before. Maybe 2019 we probably got a little bit more than this. But I feel like 2021 was by far the most amount of Marvel Legends this year. I think we had like 6 different live streams, maybe like 7 from the Hasbro Pulse team. We had plenty of exclusives. We had like 10 different waves come out this year, and each wave has at least 6 figures in it. So that's like, whew, that's already a crazy amount of releases this year. Me, of course, being what I am, you collect what you like. I only collect the MCU sort of appearances, so I think I got like 57 figures this year. And we're going to be counting down my top 10 favorites. So yes, of course I'm an only MCU collector, so while absolutely gorgeous figures like the Ironheart, Riri Williams figure from the Ursa Major wave, or the Gamerverse Miles Morales, while being absolutely gorgeous pieces, like some of the most beautifully sculpted, well-designed Marvel Legends I've seen ever, they're not going to be on this list, unfortunately. But, if they're on anybody else's list, honestly, they deserve to be there. That Riri Williams figure, like, if I had a place to put it, woo, man, that'd be amazing. Alright, let's get into this. I think we're starting right over here. Oh, and also, right before I get into this, I just want to say thank you guys for the love and support on the collection video that I just did. I was not expecting it to blow the other one out of the water within the first, what, like, week, 2 weeks? And it's absolutely crazy. That is my most popular video of all time, like completely overshadows anything else I've ever done. So thank you guys for the love and support on that. It's also garnered me a bunch of new subscribers too, so if you're new here, this is probably just one of my second videos that you're watching. Please thank you for coming back to me. First of all, welcome back, appreciate you being here, and let's get into this. So I think my number 10 spot goes to the Avengers Endgame Captain Marvel up here. So Carol. I was absolutely not expecting Carol to get onto the list. What happened is that the Infinity Saga kind of program, you had the things that you kind of wanted from it, and I've had my whole MCU wish list in my brain for several years. All these characters that we've gotten from all these years of cinema, and in Avengers Endgame, Carol was not on there. But by golly, is this figure gorgeous. It's like, I don't know what really happened. I took it out of the box, I put it onto a flight stand, and I'm just like, wait, this might be kind of crazy. And so then I took the binary effects from the binary Captain Marvel binary form, which for a while was my absolute favorite Carol, my absolute favorite Captain Marvel. I didn't think I needed another one, but this is just, honestly, I was very impressed. If you guys saw my Infinity Saga overview, it was like an hour-long video that I did back in September. You guys could see how surprised I was by how much I was digging this Carol. I love the paint, I love the gold, like little emblem on her chest, and I love the way that interacts with the blue. I like the transition. It's not really more of a transition, but I like the way that the blue and the red, and the way that they sort of contrast with each other, and then the gold just sort of highlights on the chest. It looks absolutely beautiful. The only reason why it's in the number 10 spot is because, you really really have to take accessories off another figure and put them onto her. She came with some interchangeable hands, that's sure, that's fine, but it would have been nice if she came with her own binary effects, because now my binary Captain Marvel is sitting over there in that Captain Marvel section, all naked looking with her orange arms, and it's just, ooh, that's a little bit unfortunate. It would have been nice if she came with some blue binary effects, like how she was fighting Thanos in the movie, or how she destroyed those space. Like, she's always destroying ships, this woman. So it would have been nice if she came with some blue binary effects. But Carol, very nice piece. Let's move on. Oh, another one is also in this section. This is another one I was not expecting to get. Sorry guys, the camera being a little rough right here. I haven't cut it yet. I'm not going to cut it when it's this close. But this is Iron Man Mark 85. So, ironically, this is a figure that, when it was announced, I was very disappointed. Because it did not have all the accessories that I wanted. This figure is jam-packed with accessories, I'll say that number one. But it didn't have like the nano lightning refocuser thing. It didn't have all the extra arm accessories I was expecting. So I was just like, oh man, you know what? Alright. But then, as time goes on, like, I put the figure up onto the shelf, and I'm just like, you know what? This is pretty cool. I can dig this. And then as time just went on, and the more and more I started to appreciate all the accessories, and especially the head sculpts that it came with, just the more and more I realized, I'm looking at this figure, and it makes me smile more than a lot of the other ones that came out this year. So, I'll say, even though I wasn't like super duper impressed with like the paintwork, how, you know, Legends, they have to kind of skip some paint on the chest. You guys can see around the ribs, you know, he has some little teeny tiny lights around the rib cage and a little bit towards the abdomen at the bottom. They didn't paint those in, so that was one reason why I was disappointed. But I gotta admit, these face sculpts that he came with, it's ridiculously good looking. It is Robert Downey Jr. that I'm looking at on the shelf. And that's one of the few figures up here that can really give me that sort of kick. And also, you know, it's a nice red too. I like the paint on it. I mean, the paint they did put on it looks really good. I like the nice gold on the legs and on the arms, and I like the way that kind of contrasts with the red as well. So it's like the gold, it's a different shade of gold that they use with the old Iron Man Mark 85, and this one, this red makes the gold pop a lot more. So I do appreciate that. So Iron Man Mark 85. Number 9 for 2021. Number 8. This one is sort of a weird one. Alright, so it's Sam Wilson, Captain America, but more specifically, just the wings. Now this is a weird thing to do. It's like putting part of a figure on the list. But it's like, look, the Sam Wilson figure itself, while it is good, I can't really say it's a top 10 figure in and of itself. It has some missing paint detail because it is based on the concept art that kind of came with the show, excuse me. And it also, you know, it just, not everything that it doesn't have everything that it's supposed to have. It doesn't have plenty of accessories, it doesn't have any accessories besides the shield, really. And it just doesn't have much to make the Sam sort of stick out by itself. But then you put the wings on him, and then it becomes, like, honestly, one of the most gorgeous things I have in this room. Like, I love the wings, I love the blue, I love the silver. I love how, like, large they are. The wings are a lot bigger than I was expecting, because you look at the old Falcons that we have, those wings are one piece, well, more like 3 pieces, but, you know, the wing themselves, each wing is one solid piece that just pegs into backpack. So it's like, the fact that these wings are all articulated and they're a lot larger, I really do appreciate that. So I can't really say that the Sam Wilson figure gets up on here, but the wings do. And once I take that new Sam Wilson Captain America that comes with the 2-pack, and then I put the wings on him, and then I put this Sam Wilson with that unmasked head sculpt, that's gonna be a top 10 figure. I don't know if I want to put Sam Wilson Captain America on this list again next year and just have that be the 2-pack version. That'd be kind of weird having the same figure on a top 10 list 2 different times. But those wings are absolutely gorgeous. I have no issue with them being the Build-A-Figure. I mean, a lot of people did have an issue with that. They did it for the Vulture, so I mean, I don't really have a problem with it. This Doctor Strange figure that came with the No Way Home wave is the best Doctor Strange figure that we have so far for the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and he's also one of the best figures that came out this year. Double jointed pinless elbows, and he also has they finally included the nice sling ring Eldritch magic effects. Before, they had one that he kind of hold in his hand, and that one was absolutely horrible. It did not really look that screen accurate, and it was also just a pain to get him holding it into his hand while trying to look natural. You have to pose it in an angle in which you can't see the little grip that it came with. But with these ones that are sculpted into the open hands, it looks nice, it looks crisp, it looks clean. And just the suit itself, I love the paint detail, the Eye of Agamotto. This is the most detailed one that they've given us so far. And the only thing that kind of pushes this figure down is, well, plastic cape. I don't like plastic capes. If you guys have been here for a while, you guys know how much I hate plastic capes. This one, it's nice looking. It drapes nicely, so I don't really have too much of an issue with that. My one issue with this figure is the reuse of the old Strange legs. These are the old Strange legs with the pins, so that is kind of unfortunate. I do not like that old Doctor Strange leg mold. And so if they would have just thrown that out completely, that would have been cool. But that does seem to be what they're doing with the Multiverse of Madness Doctor Strange. That figure seems to be completely new sculpt. And once I get that figure in, I can ship this figure off to my No Way Home section. Because as you guys can see, I have him next to my Wanda right now. And this is sort of my prelude to my Multiverse of Madness side. And so once I actually get the Multiverse of Madness characters, they'll go right over here. And then I can ship Doctor Strange over to the Spider-Man people. So that seems to be the plan. And also, great Benedict Cumberbatch face sculpt on that one too. Let's see who's next. Oh, alright, going right back to the Avengers, aren't we? Avengers Endgame Thor. So look, this wasn't my mind's eye version of Thor. Whenever I think of Thor, I do not think of his final battle appearance in Avengers Endgame. I think of his Infinity War appearance. You know, once he gets Stormbreaker and he's all powered up like that. That's the figure that I want updated, because the Infinity War one that we got back in 2018, while it was a great figure at the time, because, you know, that was our Infinity War Thor, it's not the most accurate piece in the world. The armor on, like, the arms and everything, the chainmail armor, that's the wrong color. His cape is supposed to be black at the front. And it's just like, that figure I feel like could have been improved on more than I wanted this. But all the people who were asking for this all those years, honestly, I really appreciate you guys. Because now that we do have it now, I gotta admit, it is a fantastic figure. I love the double jointed, pinless elbows, pinless legs. That's going to be a trend for almost every single figure on this list. I think that most of the figures on this list this year are new sculpts. Let's see, it's only about 4, not even, only about 3 of them even reuse something from the past, from their past figures. 4 of them reuse something from their past figures or past iterations of their appearances. This Thor is not one of them though. This is 100% completely new sculpt, and I love it. I love the lightning effects that they gave him, and that face sculpt. I don't know if we're focusing in on this, but that Chris Hemsworth face sculpt right there. Yeah, that is nice. That is nice. Hold on, let's get that. Let's get that. Yes, sir. That is a nice face sculpt right there. I love that it has the eyes glowing up. It really does fit the pose that I put him into, so I love that right there. And definitely the definitive Marvel Legends Thor so far, I will say, for the Marvel Cinematic Universe. If you guys want a Marvel Legends Thor for your MCU shelf, get this one. I mean, we're going to get another one next year, though, so it really depends on your patience. But that's one of the best figures this year by far. That gets our number 6 spot. Number 5. I don't know if we'll get a good angle on him from here. Uatu the Watcher up here. I actually kind of like this angle that we have now. It really does give a sort of Watcher vibe. Him standing above everybody else. But Uatu the Watcher. So, plastic, I will always 100% prefer cloth goods to plastic goods most of the time, most every single time. I just don't like the way that plastic goods, I don't like the way that they sort of, the way that they inhibit articulation. And while I do love having a more accurate looking thing, and oftentimes plastic is the way to go if you want something to look good, I can often prefer functionality over, you know, sort of appearance, cosmetics. So that's why I usually prefer figures to have cloth capes. That's why I really do like what the Black Series does with their cloth capes, and some of my most favorite Black Series figures, actually my top 3 most favorite Black Series figures, all incorporate cloth goods into their release in some way. But Uatu is 100% plastic, and I was originally thinking that this is going to be absolutely annoying because I hate plastic goods, but I will admit, it looks good on Uatu. Like, they got the cape, they sculpted that just right. The only thing I'll say about it is that, like, yeah, you can't really move it. It is a traffic cone. But it's the Watcher. You don't really see him fight. And when he does fight, he's in a different suit. And I'm sure that Hasbro will do something else for that suit. Something to make it more, if they ever do an armored Watcher, they'll do something to make it a little bit more dynamic than this one. But for right now, this is the watcher that we have, and I gotta admit, the plastic does, like the way that they sculpted it, it makes it look like a good watcher figure. I have no other way to describe it. This is the one exception that I'll give for plastic goods. Well, one of the few exceptions I'll give for plastic goods. It looks amazing on the watcher. I love the blue that they used. I love the cape. I love the whole sort of animated vibe that the What If figures have to them. I love that. I really do dig that. So Uatu gets the number 5 spot, and definitely my favorite Marvel Legends Build-A-Figure. Not my favorite sort of large deluxe figure, but my favorite Build-A-Figure, the favorite one that I've put together and assembled. Alrighty. Moving right back into the Avengers section. We don't seem to be traveling away from this area, do we? I'm sure that we will once it gets to the end of the list, but Rescue. This is a figure that okay, so they announced the Infinity Saga line, right? You put together the figures that you want to get from the past MCU movies. And again, Rescue, I gotta say, this whole Captain Marvel Rescue 2-pack surprised me, because neither of these were figures that I thought that we needed. And then they both end up getting onto the top 10 list at the end of the year. Isn't that ridiculous? This Rescue figure is base body mold, the exact same one that we got from 2019, I believe. It is the same sculpt. And that Rescue figure was great. I had no issue with it. So I had no issue with this one being the same sculpt. The only thing is, I didn't think that we needed, you know, an improvement on that one. That one was fine. But then you get this one with all the accessories that they put on her, with her hind laser cannons, with her 3 face sculpts. It absolutely blew me away with how much fun I've had posing it and how much time I've just spent looking at it up on this shelf, and I'm just like, bro, that is one of the coolest things I got up here by far. One thing I gotta say is, though, I wish that she had come with repulsor hands. So you guys might be looking at her now and you're just like, Baraka, how in the world did you get those 2 blast effects on her hands or on her arms? What I did was, since the figure does, I see the reason why they couldn't put repulsor hands on her. She has forearm gauntlets that extend past her wrist. So what you gotta do is, what I did at least, was I angled her fists downwards, and then I simply just used friction to peg those little blast effects. This part right here, I used friction to peg this part in between that hole on her, that you can peg these sort of articulate the wrist part downwards in between the forearm gauntlet, and then you'll have a nice gap right there, and then you just sort of stick this part in between there, and it holds nicely, and it does look natural. Well, depending on the angle that you look at it from. I'm sure if you look at it from like the back or maybe from the top, it'll start to look weird. But as you guys see it now, I bet you guys can't even tell. You guys will probably just think that I got custom hands from a third-party seller or something. No, this figure is absolutely gorgeous. I love the purple that it has. I love the the way that they improved on the paint apps here. It's fantastic. The last figure, once I look at it, I'm just like, yeah, this figure, while it does look like a rescue figure, it doesn't really look like the Final Battle rescue that we saw. This figure has that completely. They repainted the arc reactor, they repainted her entire body, again, having that nice vibrant sort of, I don't really want to call it, it's not the same gold that they used with the Iron Man, but it has the sort of same effect, where the sort of purple that they use makes that gold pop a little bit more, and it just brings it all together. And then the accessories they have on her, again, those hind laser cannons, something I didn't even know that I wanted, but something that I absolutely appreciate. This rescue figure has surprised me more than I think any other figure has surprised me before, because the rest of the figures on this list, just moving down, besides one of them maybe, but for the rest of the figures on this list, I think it's just going to be me expecting them to be good, and then them just living up to my expectations. But this rescue figure was a true surprise for me. Like, I was not expecting to love her as much as I do. So yeah, definitely getting the number 4 spot on the list. Very impressive that a 2019 body mold can gain a number 4 spot on a list where you have figures with double jointed pinless arms and elbows. That's pretty crazy to me. But this is my personal opinion, of course. Rescue, fantastic. This figure was one that I gotta say, I looked at it, I did not personally want a Mark III. This isn't one of my favorite Iron Man suits. But I looked at it, and I'm just like, I can tell. This is gonna be a good figure. I already know it. Like, I see it. Double jointed pinless legs, double jointed pinless arms, and it has just one of the nicest face lifted up, like unmasked face sculpts that I've seen for Robert Downey Jr. So I'm just like, yeah, this figure, it's gonna be alright. And then I got it in hand, and I'm just like, this figure is amazing. It has some of the best articulation I've seen on an Iron Man. You know, Iron Man, he's usually a bulky dude. You can't really get him into too many great dynamic poses. This figure definitely, like, surprised me with how much great articulation I was able to get out of it. You get some incredibly dynamic poses out of him. And it just looks fantastic. I even had it, like, I accidentally ended up with two, as I've said before. But just having one vanilla posed right here with that unmasked Robert Downey Jr. head from the Endgame 2-pack, it looks beautiful. The red that they used, I like the way that it shines. I love the gold they used. I love all the accessories that they put him with. He put him with some crazy accessories, like the tank missile accessory. They got all that stuff. One of the crazy things is that even though it is a Marvel Legends Iron Man, it does not come with these. What they actually did for his repulsor hands was that they actually put the light on them. They painted that light in, so there is no peg that you can actually put the repulsor hands into. And honestly, I love that choice. Like, I love the way that looks up there. That looks good. So, you know, if we can get it nice, if they can start doing that more often, I mean, I wouldn't really be mad at it. But yeah, one of the best looking figures this year. And of course, that Ironmonger, we'll get to him in a second. He is going to be an honorable mention. But look at them together. Just look at how amazing that looks. Imagine playing with these in 2008, guys. That'd be ridiculous. That old one that we had from the 2008 movie line. Alright, so we're moving on to the last two. Alrighty. Boom, 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 boom. The last two are definitely our What If inspired figures. What If was a wave that I kind of knew was going to be amazing before I even saw it. Like, I was just thinking to myself, are they going to go the live action route, or are they going to go animated / more realistic interpretation? They went animated, and first I was thinking, this is going to be kind of weird putting this onto an MCU shelf, you know? It's animated designs. Everybody else here has a real face, but these guys are kind of, I don't know how well this is going to fit in. Am I going to have to get a separate section for them or what? I put them here, and the way that they just sort of blended in. I don't know how to say it. They blended in a way that I find very satisfying. Like, I look at them up here and they pop, but they don't pop out like they shouldn't be here. They come into their own in a sort of way that I really do like. And the figures that, like, their choices for this wave, they couldn't really go too wrong on these. A lot of these What If character designs are very toyetic, so they couldn't really go too far off the mark. And I gotta admit, where they got it exactly right, we'll start with the number 2 spot, is this zombie Captain America. This figure is on almost everybody's top 10 list, or at least getting as an honorable mention, because it's just that beautiful. It's like one of the... It's beautiful, beautifully ugly, if you know what I'm trying to say. It's disgusting. It has some crazy detail on it that just makes it look absolutely horrible, absolutely terrifying. You guys can't see it in the angle that I'm with it, like, sort of now, right? Like, right now, you guys can't really see what I'm about to talk about. But he has some great sculpted detail on the legs where you can actually see through the leg. And I was looking at that on the live stream, and I'm just like, that's absolutely ridiculous that they actually did that. It is one of those figures that I was just like, Marvel Zombie's alright. It seems like they're gonna be leaning into it now. I mean, I guess I'll just throw a zombie Captain America up there, and you know, what's it gonna hurt? I was not expecting it to be one of my favorite figures up here of all time. It beats out almost all of the other live action Marvel Cinematic Universe figures that I have. There are only a few live action figures that I have that can actually get a higher spot in my heart than this figure does, because it's just so charming. I mean, look at it right there, like it's about to kill you. I mean, just, it's a beautiful looking figure. It looks absolutely amazing. The sculpted detail, the face sculpt, I love the yellow eyes, I love everything about it. And also, this figure kind of just makes me want a sort of non-zombie version of this. Like, I want to see an animated Steve Rogers Captain America. I want to see how they'll execute that with this suit, because I like the sort of suit that they have on this Captain America. And I would love to see that without all the blood and gore and bullet holes and fabric tears on it. But yeah, Zombie Captain America, definitely a top 10 figure of the year, and can very easily be a top 10 Marvel Legend figure of all time, I believe, personally. But number one is actually Fastos. You guys can see him over there. I mean, look at that. Just, you guys cannot just look at it and tell me that it is not just about the best figure that Hasbro has ever released in any line ever. It's just, the detail on him is absolutely incredible. I wonder if anybody actually thought I was gonna say Fastos. No, if you guys have been watching my channel for a little bit, you guys know that it's Captain Carter. It's something that I tell me back then while I'm looking at my Black Widow figures and all of them, just seeing them with their single jointed elbows and everything like that, and I tell them just like, bro, at some point these are gonna have double joints, double jointed elbows, double jointed legs, and it's gonna be completely pinless, seamless, basically. I wouldn't believe me. I changed this pose so much, but I always end up going back to this nice sort of vanilla, just standing pose like how she does in her box art, because it's just such an intimidating piece that, like, a vanilla pose, sometimes less is more, you know what I'm trying to say? And that vanilla pose with her, with that shield right there, with her blue and red, with her Union Jack on her chest, flailing that up, it's a very beautiful, how I say, it's a very beautiful piece. Our Legends team used to say some bullcrap like, it's the single joint just looks more natural on female figures, the double joints does not look good on female figures, it doesn't work. Nah, guys, y'all got this formula now. If I ever see y'all going back to single joints again, we're gonna have some problems. Captain Carter, absolutely amazing figure, and this #1 spot goes specifically to her mass market release version. I don't like cheating, so I wasn't going to put the stealth version on here, but I also was not going to put it on here just because it's not as good as the mass market release version. It's inaccurate, which isn't really their fault. It's concept art. This is how she looked probably before the final design was made. And, you know, she probably still had the stealth shield and everything like that. She probably still had that hair in the concept art. So I'm not mad at that part, and it's just that, you know, it's just wasn't going to make it into the end, because I just like the paint on the mass market release a lot more. I like how much more vibrant, how much this one pops more up on the shelf, you know what I'm saying? But both are absolute fantastic releases. Both, I gotta say, even if you don't collect Marvel Legends, first of all, thank you for watching this video, by the way. I have no idea why you're still here. But if you guys don't collect action figures in general, go and get this Captain Carter. If you're a comic collector, exclusively, go and get this Captain Carter. I don't care what you do. I don't care what you collect. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're poor. Go out there on the streets, beg somebody to take you to Walmart or buy you a $30 Amazon gift card and buy this Captain Carter. This is all I gotta say. Absolutely fantastic piece, and it's making me so excited for future female Marvel Legends. Like, I cannot wait to see how they do Jane Foster, Natalie Portman, Thor come the Love of Thunder wave. I think that's going to be revealed, what, like February maybe? Because I feel like that's when we're going to get our teaser trailer. So sometime February, maybe late June, whenever we get that teaser trailer, they're probably going to reveal the wave right around then. And we better get that figure with the exact same treatment that they did for this one. Double jointed pinless. That is the way of the future. This figure is basically just a sign of how Marvel Legends are going to get from now on. It's only uphill from here, and it's making me so excited for future female Marvel Legends, because now they finally have a foothold on top 10 lists. It's not going to be something of a sort of strange thing for female figures to get onto a top 10 list for Marvel Legends. Now it's just going to be a regular thing, because now they're not going to have to be something that's sort of that you have to set a lower bar for. They can be something that you hold up to the exact same standard as the sort of robots, males, aliens, whatever. And I'm very excited for that. I'm very excited for the future. So thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. This video was super long. Top 10 Marvel Legends of the year. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope to see you guys coming in next time. Oh, I forgot to do honorable mentions. Okay, so honorable mentions. Alright, so Strange Supreme, of course. Ironmonger all the way over there. Who else? Thena. Thena is actually one that I didn't like when I originally got it, but then I have her sort of... Okay, wait, hold on. We're gonna have to take you guys off the stand for this one. Thena's one that I wasn't really too fond of when I originally got it, because it's like her accessories are inaccurate. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, her swords and crap like this didn't really look like this in the movie. But that Angelina Jolie face sculpt, man. That is incredible. And I also just love the white. Like, I love how clear cream figures sort of contrast against all these other colors. And it makes me excited to get a Gore the God Butcher figure interpretation. Once we get that from the Thor Love and Thunder wave, it makes me excited for that as well. And our last honorable mention, I believe I had 4. Odin. Need I say more? Is Anthony Hopkins. He is royalty. Sir Anthony Hopkins. And that royalty, it does translate into his figure. Like, he just looks like a king. You look up there, standing above all these other guys, and you're just like, yeah, you don't mess with him. So thank you guys very much for joining me in my top 10 favorite figures of 2021. This video lasted a lot longer than I thought that it would. Thank you guys so much for watching. Stay safe out there. Hope for a nice new year. Tell me, what are you guys looking forward to this year? What's your guys' wish list for this year for Marvel Legends? What are y'all's favorites? What did y'all think surprised you? And tell me if you guys love Captain Carter just as much as I do, because that figure just, whew, amazing. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope to see you all next time, and I'll catch you all on the next one. Stay safe out there, and always remember to be the best.